Let's start on a serious note. Deshaun Watson, we got the news yesterday. The NFL and the NFL Players Association have come to agreement. It will be an 11-game suspension for Deshaun Watson. It got essentially doubled from 6. It will be a $5 million fine, which is pretty unprecedented for what I know. I mean, a lot of times owners will get $1-2 million fine. So for a player, not a billionaire, obviously, to get a $5 million fine is a big deal, big statement, by the NFL. And this all stems back, of course, from, again, when the NFL Players Association came to an agreement in the CBA, right? They said that anytime a player violated the NFL's personal conduct policy, a third party would come in, usually a retired judge, would come in, make their ruling, and that would be that. The NFL could challenge, but the whole essence of doing that was, let's get somebody who knows the legal system inside and out to make this decision, because Roger Goodell, I believe, is the only commissioner who does not have a law degree. So that's part of the reason that they did this. So Judge Sue Robinson, and she will be, a factor in this segment because I think, something that she points out is important. She comes out, okay, we're giving Deshaun Watson 6 games. And we all were like, oh, gosh, that feels a little light. I mean, given the allegations, given the how graphic these allegations were, 6 games. Given the reports from the New York Times as well, talking about Deshaun Watson's reaching out to, 66 different women over a 17-month span, that the Texans basically assisted him in doing so. It's like, this is weird. And so the NFL pushes back. The NFL, Roger Goodell, appeals the suspension. And Roger Goodell, as recently as a week ago, called Deshaun Watson's activity, quote, predatory behavior. So Roger Goodell and multiple reports coming out of the NFL said they want to drop the hammer. They want the season. And so the NFLPA comes back. The report comes out a few days ago that Deshaun Watson's team would be happy with an 8-game suspension. The Players Association and the NFL come together. They agree on an 11-game suspension for Deshaun Watson, again, with a $5 million fine. Here's what this means. First of all, as I've said throughout this entire offseason, as we've continued to get more and more information on this topic, I've said, if I'm commissioner, I have the ultimate power. I'm giving him the season. You cannot have this dark cloud being Deshaun Watson and being his legal situation hanging over the NFL season, especially a season that's got so many great stories coming in. I mean, you got Tom Brady. This is probably his last year. You got Russell Wilson in Denver. You've got, obviously, Joe Burrow. Can he lead the Bengals back to the Super Bowl? Can the Rams be the first team to go back-to-back in 20 years? A lot of big stories. What do the Cowboys do? You don't want this overshadowing that, because the NFL knows. They've dealt with numerous controversies. They've gotten through basically all of them. I'm reading the book about it right now. It's an excellent book by Mike Florio called Playmakers. Check it out. But the NFL does not want this hanging over the season. And so Deshaun Watson, ironically, will be coming back. His first game will be against the Houston Texans. But here's the thing I wanted to hit on the most, okay? First of all, on the Cleveland Browns part, okay? So, again, during the show yesterday when I was pre-recording it, the news came out, okay, Deshaun's getting 11 games. And about 25 minutes later, I get an alert from my phone from Adam Schefter, lead NFL insider for ESPN, showing that the Browns put out a statement and Deshaun Watson has put out a statement. She's like, okay. And I read the statements. Deshaun Watson said in his statement, and I quote, let's see if I can pull this up. Yep. He said, quote, I apologize once again for any pain the situation has caused. I take accountability for for the decisions I made. Okay. So appears to, at least for the second time in the last week, because he did apologize via a Browns reporter before his preseason debut last week. Okay, so this is like the second time he's shown a little bit of remorse. It's like, okay, this maybe you're starting to go in the right direction with this. Maybe this can work possibly for the season. And then the Browns do Browns things, and that is make horrendous decisions from a football perspective, from a business perspective, from a PR perspective. The day the suspension is finalized, they send Deshaun Watson to the mic. Even after he's put out a statement. They don't wait a few days and, have him talk to the PR team, this and that. They send him right to the mic as, the news is, hot off the press, right? And Deshaun Watson goes contrary to just about every single thing that he said in his statement, including saying, quote, I've always stood on my innocence and always said I've never assaulted anyone or disrespected anyone. I'm going to continue to stand on my innocence. So it's either he is going to, hold himself accountable for bad decisions, or he's standing on his innocence. Which is it? He's sorry for the women he impacted, but he never did anything. Add to it that, going back to Judge Sue Robinson, she said Deshaun didn't seem to have any type of remorse for anything that happened. And she even said from what she found in her investigation, Deshaun's actions met the criteria of sexual assault. She just said it wasn't violent. Now, we can debate all day from a legal perspective, from a moral perspective, what's violent, even from, the definition of the word violent. We can debate that all day and all night, all we want. But that is what she ruled, that she believes through what she's found, Deshaun Watson did what these 30 women have accused him of doing. But again, and I've said this the whole time, ever since Deshaun Watson did this said action that I'm about to bring up, I'm standing on my innocence, I'm standing on my innocence. Okay, fine. Then why did you settle with all but one of the women? Matter of fact, the only woman who did not settle with Deshaun wrote an op-ed, I think in the Daily Beast, explaining why she won't settle with him. Okay? But he settled with the majority of the women. Thought you're innocent. Me? I'm not settling with anybody if I didn't do anything. So you have that. The Texans, who again, according to the New York Times, assisted Deshaun in contacting these 66 women, they settled with, I think, either half or the majority of those women. Add to it, I read this a month ago, the Browns are not going to allow Deshaun Watson to contact a massage therapist outside of the Browns organization. So even the Browns don't believe him. You know how I know that? Well, another example, the NFL in their statement about this ruling, this agreement between the Players Association and the league, they came out and said the league and the Browns organization is going to donate $17 million to organizations that are fighting to prevent sexual misconduct and assault. So you have the Browns chipping in with the NFL to donate this money to these worthy causes that their quarterback continues to say he didn't do, and the organization basically goes right along with him. But the organization also says, yeah, we don't trust you to contact a massage therapist outside of our organization. We don't trust you. So this is just another example. Even by Cleveland Browns standards, this is pathetic. This is pathetic. While the news is hot, while everybody's talking about it, that's when you send Deshaun Watson the mic. Of all the times, you send him right after the news comes out just to get it out of the way. No. As Draymond Green always says in his podcast, stand on that. You gave him the highest guaranteed contract in NFL history. He's going to be the highest paid quarterback per annual salary in football to Aaron Rodgers. Stand on that. Right? Don't rush him to the podium. Give it time. Give it time to bake. Then send them while, sort of everybody, emotions and everything's kind of calmed down. Then send him the mic. Not when everybody's like, my God, he's actually going to play this season. Not when everybody's mad about it. This just shows the complete lack of self-awareness by the Browns yet again. And by Deshaun Watson yet again. Again, back to his statement that he released before his press conference. I apologize once again for any pain the situation has caused. I take accountability for the decision I made. Accountability, apologize, key words there. He comes out. I've always stood on my innocence and always said I've never assaulted anyone or disrespected anyone. I'm going to continue to stand on my innocence. So which is it? One or the other. Also appears he lied under oath to Judge Robinson. So this is just a you-know-what show all the way around. By the Browns, of course, should we be shocked? It's the Haslam family, for crying out loud. And Deshaun Watson. It's a clown show. And so just the fact, it's like I saw a tweet yesterday. They said it's like Deshaun Watson took a masterclass in what not to say when this news breaks. It's like, geez, Listen, I'm somebody who believes I'm not a fan of, like cancel culture. I think there's a fine line in what's cancel culture and what's not. There's accountability and there's cancel culture. I think there's a fine line between the two. I'm not for cancel culture. I believe in second chances. Okay. And so when you hear the last week, and look, it's coming from my perspective. I'm a guy. I can't feel this the same way that a woman can. That's why I said that's another reason I said suspend Deshaun this season, because it's not going to send the greatest message to women who make up half, the fans in the NFL, about 50% of NFL fans, that, oh yeah, this guy allegedly did what he did. There's a whole lot of evidence to back up that he probably ended up doing what they are alleging that he's doing or did, and now he's on the field playing for the greatest league in the world, for the king of television, the National Football League. It's not the greatest message to send the women. I think that's another reason why Goodell, wanted to basically drop the hammer on him, especially in the court of public opinion. And that matters. The NFL very much cares about that court just as much as our legal system as it is. I believe in second chances. But when you continue to screw up with statements that you're making, with looks like you lied to a judge, the Browns don't trust you, the league doesn't trust you, the independent judge doesn't trust you. And also part of the suspension, and this is something no one's really talked about this today, but I think it is very, very important, because during the time of the suspension, 11 games, which will go into early December. I think the suspension, they said, starts August 30th and will go into up until the week that the Browns take on the Texans. That's when Deshaun can come back. In that time, Deshaun Watson has to go to counseling. The NFL said you got to go to counseling. And if he doesn't, quote unquote, pass the test of counseling, if he doesn't show any signs of contrition or anything of that nature, he cannot be reinstated. So I think that's something else to pay attention to. So this guy just keeps digging a deeper and deeper and deeper hole for himself. And so do the Browns. But if there's any organization in the NFL that would do this, are we shocked that it's this one? It's an absolute disaster, absolute positive disaster for the Browns, for Deshaun Watson, for the Haslam family. It's a clown show, absolute clown show. And like I said, can't say I'm shocked. This is what they do. It's Cleveland, for crying out loud. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube. Be sure to click that big red subscribe button and go check out the other clips and full shows of Carving It Up Live. Have a blessed day.